What if I told you to question your reality? What would you do? How would you do so? What would be your approach? Where would you begin? Why would you do so? Should you do so? What would I do first? Where would I go? What would I do? What does questioning your reality even mean? Why? There's no point. So why would I tell you to question your reality? If I tell you to look at the owl right now without pointing at it, do you look at it? Do we understand that that means that through the things that populate into our head, we can be moved around, both in a mental world and a physical world? So how do things populate in their head? That's something we're going to talk about today. But do you see that just through talking, through senses, through visuals, through sounds, through senses, through sense, we get teleported to different places. And before we know it, we're lost in another world. Does any of that sound familiar? And lost in another world could be a great thing. What about when you went to that trip or resort with that girl that you've been wanting to date? And you guys grabbed drinks and coffee and then ice cream and things of that nature. And you got to, I don't know, I'll stop there. But you guys see, like, there were like palm trees and there was the sun, and then you felt the wind breeze hit you, and you could smell the ocean. And it smells like someone's cooking some food. What is that? Is that like a Mexican dish or something like that? Oh, did you taste that spicy salsa that they have? Do you guys understand that that's how humans communicate? That's how all things communicate, through senses. That's our language. It's actually not, it doesn't have to necessarily be directly through English or whatever language you speak. Those things work. Those things facilitate communication. They make it easier. But do you guys understand that I could communicate with you? If I couldn't talk to you and I couldn't see you, I could communicate through certain like noises. I could just make a noise over there and you're like, well, what was that? You could walk over there and check it out. And I'm invisible, but I could do that for you. I can make a sound pop up and you would go over there. So why do I tell you guys all this stuff? Because there's things that are happening around you that you don't even understand are attacks. You don't even question why they're happening. You just know that they make you feel worse, or you all of a sudden feel worse and you don't understand why or how that happened. Events occur in your life and you just think that that's life. Wait, well, that's just how it is, right? No, wrong. I'm saying that they're happening in response to something, or they're happening because they're trying to get you to do something, which means that they're planned. Could that be possible? In my experience, in my reality, yes. In yours, I'm not sure. But that's why I'm gonna give you the information today so that you can then stress test and evaluate for yourself. So I ask you, could attacks actually be a representation that we are on the correct path? What are attacks? Why would we try to stop those who are about to walk into our trap? You guys ever thought about that one? How many times do we actually spend seconds of our life thinking about what are attacks? Why would we do so? What if I talk with my mouth full right now and you have an aversion to someone doing that? Have you ever considered that got programmed into you and now can be used as an attack against you? No, it's just, I don't know, I shouldn't be so... What if I told you that it wasn't you being delicate or sensitive? They made it happen. They surrounded you by those things at some point in your life. And they made sure that either you were tired, consumed, focused on something else, and it was causing an interrupt for you, so you weren't able to focus. So, if I keep doing this right now, over and over again, and talk, I'm breaking my conditioning, right? My programming to being able to be afraid of talking with my mouth full on a video, which is good. We should all be breaking our limits. But you see, you might feel negative now because of it. And all of you, first of all, blame yourself for it, but then you get mad at the other person. And I'm saying it's not either one's fault, but both of them can do something about it. So we always try to then direct blame to something and absolve ourselves of all actions that we can do to make it better. So do you see, all of a sudden, just by asking what are attacks and explaining it like this, you might be like, wait a minute, that's considered an attack? I'm like, doesn't it make you feel worse? If for you, it does. If it doesn't, then you understand, then it's not meant as an attack for you. And if it is, I highly recommend that you start breaking it and rewriting it today, because that's a vulnerability. That's a vulnerability. It means that they can control you through that. But I'm telling you, it gets programmed into us through repetition and by the timing of it and when it occurs. So I ask all of you, question your reality. Could attacks actually be a representation that we are walking up the correct path? What are attacks? Why would we try to stop those who are about to walk into our trap? We would encourage them to. What if we operated every moment in a world that is upside down? Picture that. All right? So anything you do today, you do it the opposite of how you always did it, right? Or if everyone else cares about money, you don't care about money whatsoever. If you don't care about showering, you don't shower and everyone else showers, right? So think of it like that, right? So just to keep it simple. Upside down essentially means that you do the opposite of everyone else, and not out of harm or malice, but you see what I mean? Like everything is just doesn't operate the same way as we are told it operates in the outside world. That means that we are just basing the information of our world based on what we're actually experiencing, not what other people are telling us. So assume you live in such a world, right? And you can get yourself to live in an upside down world by simply limiting information and blocking things that can redefine your reality because you're letting someone else define the vision. So even everything I'm saying today, I challenge you to test it, but we'll get to that. So the world is flipped upside down, all right? Thus at any point, if all of a sudden it got flipped back, you would notice, wouldn't you? I call that paying attention to differences. This might be the most important thing that all of you need to learn. This skill set called paying attention to differences, which leads to stress testing. And what does stress testing allow? Identification. These are the trio that allow us to actually succeed at evolving, at learning, at gathering new knowledge. So what can you do? If you're trying to create this scenario to start identifying things, to see like, what could there be attacks? Could there be problems? Why am I dealing with these things? Why are these things occurring? What is happening? Why is it happening? Where is it happening? When is it happening? What is happening? You see, like we can get lost there because there's so many things. All of you don't understand why your life isn't going well, or there's certain problems, or why you're being pushed towards certain directions, or you're being guided to walk certain paths, or you're being encouraged to do things, or people are repeating certain things are repeating, right? So I ask you, that's where we begin. What is repeating? What is repeating? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Write it down right now. What is repeating? What? Because I'm telling you, whatever is repeating is being pushed. Now, if it's of your choosing means that you wrote things yourself on a piece of paper, and let's say you're going to write all these things down and you put it somewhere around you, and you write it down, okay? If you ever go to that paper yourself and see it, do you understand that you chose that information yourself then because you self-created it and you went back to it? But if it's populating into your head, and if it's being pushed through other things, do you understand that doesn't mean that it's always you? Is it always bad? No, but you must understand what is repeating. It can be good and it can be bad, but you guys get it? We must identify what is repeating, because if it's repeating outside and we're not choosing it, you all need to start asking yourself questions. Wait, how is that possible that that is repeating? Why would that be repeating? So then the next question is, when does it pop up? All right? So I ask all of you, whatever is repeating in your life, now that you're just paying attention to differences, you're stress testing, you're identifying, when does it pop up? You're like, well, it seems like whenever I'm trying to help someone else or like do something new that I care about and try to accomplish a new storyline, all of a sudden I got reminded of something bad. Is that the case for you guys? Because it is in my reality. Whenever I try anything that I care about even 1%, and care about means I just want it to be at the level that I know I can achieve. I don't care at all if you guys think this is good. I know what I'm capable of doing. Do you guys understand? So that means I've destroyed all opinions, I've destroyed external, and yet I still care 1%, right, for myself. So I'm telling you, anything that I care even 1% for myself, I notice that that's when it pops up. Does it pop up when you go outside? Does it pop up when you go on social media? Do you feel that way? When do you feel that way? Do you guys understand? Is it when you start in conversations with people? Then I ask you, why would that appear? Why would that appear, guys? Why would that appear right now? Oh wait, are you trying to focus right now? Are you trying to take notes? Are you trying to identify differences in stress descendant? Are you actually learning? Are you progressing? Are you actually evolving? Are you trying to figure this out and piece all of this together? So could someone that all of a sudden magically decides to appear near you, wherever you're at, you know that you don't like when people talk with your mouth full, it's considered an attack for you. And all of a sudden, someone pops up right next to you that is chewing and talking on the phone about this stuff. I ask you, why would that appear then? Remember when I said, when does it pop up? Why would that appear? Something that you consider an attack, now that you know that that is what is an attack. Because it's a programmed negative in you. That means that you will have an adverse reaction to it. You will feel differently, or you will just slow down even for 1 second. Do you understand that if I throw water at you right now, you might consider it an attack if you are going to like a performance or something, or going to do a talk and you had clothes. Do you guys get it? It's an attack. So I ask all of you, why would that appear right then? Why would I start choosing to chew with my mouth full as you're trying to learn this and piece this together and connect the dots? When does it pop up? Why would I do it right then? What is repeating? Why does this always happen to you? Why does it always happen that whenever you're trying to do something, it seems like something pops up that tries to annoy you, or tries to attack you, or tries to make you feel bad, or tries to bring you down? What is it that they're using? Because you know what? Whatever they're using, I use this example to show you guys, but there's something in your life, multiple things in your life, by the way, and if you start healing them and destroying them and preventing them and avoiding them, they create new ones. I'm saying, is that an attack? What is an attack now that we've talked this through? Timing and mental thoughts. Pay attention to that. You must pay attention to that. Timing, 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 and repetition. Timing and repetition. Timing and repetition. Why did it happen then? Why did it happen then? Hey, could you go grab me a glass of water from the kitchen? And all of a sudden, right as you're about to walk to the kitchen, someone knocks on the door. That you need to pay attention to. Timing. Do we understand? It's not a coincidence. I challenge you to explore that. Don't just trust me. What did we say? Write these down. The trifecta. Paying attention to differences. Because anything, you flip the world, and in the moment, so what is flipping the world? Let's take a step back. If I'm operating now in the world thinking that there are no coincidences, all right, let's go there. So if there are no coincidences, humoring, flip the world and operate that way. Okay, fine. There are no coincidences in this world. That's what you want to hear, right? Yeah. Thank you. So at that point, you guys don't believe me. That's good. You shouldn't. But now you flip the world. So now you're like, could the world really operate in such a way that there are no coincidences? Could it? This guy. All right, let's see what happens. So then, if at any point something happens, you're like, wait a minute, how the heck? You would notice, wouldn't you? You're like, there's no way. You're like, the fuck? How did they make that happen? Or how did that get presented before me? Or how did they move that thing like that? Or why would they put that thing that I consider a positive or a negative, doesn't always have to be negative, right there where I was going to be? Or why when I went on a walk, I saw that thing on the floor that means something to me? Why would it be right there exactly in the path that I walked? Or I've been trying to date a girl. Why would a really hot girl, boots and shorts and stuff like that, walk by me right then with a key jingling as I'm walking that path? Timing. I'm saying, if there's none of those things are a coincidence, you're like, wait, those all meant something to me. Because I'm telling you, there are things in this world that don't mean anything to us yet. Why? Because we haven't been built up to it. We haven't been conditioned to it. We haven't been programmed to it. We haven't created any associations to it yet. So if right now I tell you guys, hey, have you guys had Kopfkissen? It's a German pastry that my grandma and my godmother used to make. And it has a different name in Germany, in other regions, if you're in the Bavaria region or Hamburg or Berlin. But you might have never known German things or what this pastry is. Do you guys understand that if I say Kopfkissen, you're like, if anything, because you don't recognize it, you might get like a little mental thought that populates into your head because maybe you have something related to kissing. Maybe it makes you think of like, oh, when I kissed that hot girl and we had a croissant date. Do you guys understand? So you see, since your brain couldn't populate anything from what I'm actually saying, since you didn't recognize it, it means it's a neutral for you. It doesn't mean anything to you. There's no negatives or positives attached to it yet. That means that it can start having it. But if not, if you still can't get anything, and I can't paint the picture, think it's like a little square thing. It's almost like a little pillow. That's actually what it means, head pillow. And then they put like powder sugar on it, and it's buttery. It's delicious. Right? Think of like a croissant, but with powder sugar. Kopfkissen. Really good. So, do you guys understand what I'm trying to show you? Is that it's a neutral. And if anything comes from after that, it's just because they were trying to like push something to you. But you see, like, it's a mental thought. But when you're outside, if someone walked by you and said Kopfkissen, right before I said this, you're like, wait a minute, that's the second time I heard that word in one day. That's the second time I heard that word in one day. How is that possible? And then all of a sudden, later today, you watch a YouTube video and you get an ad populates. And it talks about German pastries. It doesn't mention Kopfkissen, but it talks about German pastries. Do we understand that some of you, not all of you, but some of you might now, because of the recency, because of the repetition, if it's still the same day, might now be like, oh, I wonder if they make Kopfkissen. Because you got info presented to you, you got repeated, and the recency was there. So now German pastries could be interpreted through the lens of Kopfkissen. Pay attention to differences. You must stress test. You must identify what is repeating. When does it pop up? Why would that appear? How could that be possible? And I ask you, is that an attack? That one I use as a neutral that became a positive, but still you need to ask yourself, wait a minute, why is that repeating? It can be a positive. There are things in this world that are trying to help us counteract the darkness. But I ask all of you, you still need to be extremely wary of it, because do we understand that that means that something is guiding our path? And if you don't know your positives yet and your negatives, and you don't know how to identify if it's an attack or not, you might just walk forward doing whatever it is. And even if it is a positive, do you understand? Did you choose to all of a sudden now be into German pastries? Next time I might talk to you, you might all of a sudden tell me like, oh yeah, I'm really into German pastries now. I'm starting to bake Kopfkissen, and I'm like, what? No way. I'm like, you know about Kopfkissen? That's awesome. But what? Yeah, I don't know. I just like, it just seemed like the right idea. And you guys don't even question that. You guys don't even question that. You're like, oh yeah, now I'm into German pastries. You guys don't even question that. I'm like, why would that happen? I don't know. Are we starting to piece this together? Are we starting to piece this together? Timing, repetition, recency, mental thoughts. When and why? So all these things that I was saying, I'm keeping it positive because I don't want people to get consumed. But as you're thinking about this, as you're starting to stress test it, as you're like, wait a minute, okay, if I do this, okay, like, do any of you play video games, or you want to watch a new movie, or something that you really want to enjoy that's pretty harmless? It's going to have some info in it, all right? But it could be anything, or even a book. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do an interrupt. So what is an interrupt? It's something that resets you. So in this case, I'm just going to grab peppermint extract. It actually is a bottle. It has a little bit in there. All right, I'm gonna do something that I probably shouldn't do, but it's gonna cause a complete interrupt. All right, so I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna take a sip of peppermint extract, just straight up. This might be bad. Woo! Peppermint extract. Whoa! So I recommend you guys try something like that. Have you guys ever had peppermint extract? Oh my gosh. It's strong. I use it for cooking, and I created a new meal with it because I cook without recipes when I choose to. And I know, because I learned cooking's just balance, right? You have to balance all different flavors, or if you want to get it more sweet, you didn't just add more sweet things. You just have to understand what each thing has. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it salty? Is it that? And then you just have to balance them. That's all it is. It's spicy. If you want whatever flavor panel you want to get, think of it like, I think of it almost like in Pokemon. There was like a star, and it showed their stat graph, like if they were more inclined towards strength, defense, special defense, mind, whatever. And then you could see what their Pokemon specialty was. Like the graph would be more in one direction. Like, oh, this Pokemon has more strength, defense, and special defense. Cool. So that's how I think about it from cooking. Like each thing that you use, each ingredient has flavor profiles, right? So it's like, oh, this thing has more spicy, this thing has more sweet, this thing has more salty, okay. But it has each a little bit of one. You know, so I'm not gonna get lost. But you see, guys, look, now you're complete in another place. That's an intro. That's enough, though. we're gonna stop there. Do you guys understand? Like, that's how I created a positive association with this called progression, because I can now cook without any recipes. I make my own thing. So whenever I see this, I think about progression, and that's what's happening today. Yet I did that. That's something new that I did, a new interrupt. And I'm telling you, it's still interrupting me because I have the taste still on my mouth and my tongue. Like, peppermint extract is powerful. If you use it, less is more. So, why did I do all this? Because now, you're gonna go, we forgot about what we were gonna do, right? What were we gonna do, guys? What were we gonna do? What were we gonna do, guys? What were we gonna do? Do you remember? I was gonna play a new video game, or a video game that I enjoy, with info in it that I wanted to play. You were gonna probably watch a movie, or listen to a song, or read a book. So why did we do that intro? Because then whatever we go into next, if we start adding our positives slightly before that, so for example, hey, if you like coffee, hey, take a sip, get yourself a cup of coffee before you start to pause whatever you're going to consume. If you enjoy beautiful women, hey, some pictures of them? Yeah, look at one really quick. Dream girl. Hey, do you like some songs of, I don't know, like Prince of Egypt, Deliver Us? Do you like figuring things out? Yeah, I'm a Sherlock. Got my shepherd talisman. I'm healing. This shirt means gray. It's progression. All right, now let's consume the content. Let's read the book. Let's watch the movie. Let's play the game. Let's do this. Oh, I want to see some cereal. I enjoy cereal. Now you pay attention to what happens when you're consuming whatever it is that you're doing. So, are you like exploring the video game? Are you just watching the movie? Are you reading the book in peace? What are the mental thoughts that start populating as you're reading things or as you're experiencing the things? Because I'm telling you, almost everything that we watch, if the balance isn't correct, it's so challenging to get to that level where it has to be enough of a focus that keeps us learning something, but then there has to be some music, there has to be multiple senses, and we have to get into a state of flow, because if we don't, I'm telling you guys, all of a sudden, mental thoughts start populating while you're consuming the info. Which is why, even like in a video game or a book, and you're just reading and you're just consuming nonstop info, right? Every word. All of a sudden you get teleported somewhere else. You're interpreting the story through a different lens. You're like, oh, it makes you think of like when I was dating the one girl, the croissant girl. And you're like, wait a minute, the character's talking about his own girl, but we are mentally thinking about our croissant girl. Do we understand, guys? Is that necessarily bad if I consider croissant girl a positive? No, but do we see the danger of it? Because then it can start a path for us related to that. And I'm telling you guys, you aren't choosing that. Because remember, we interrupted, we started our positives, and then we go. But oh wait, I did look at the girl before. Could that affect it? Yeah. Are you guys starting to understand what I'm trying to show you? Is that all of a sudden, let's just say, instead of the girl with the croissant, it's actually negative things that start populating. You're like, oh my gosh. And you like even feel worse, like, ah. And you're like, let's just skip past this part quickly. Or you're like, you're reading it, but you're like not really getting the information anymore. because it's just like there's like this blockade right here. There's like a shadow that's just like consuming you right here as you're like trying to consume this story, or you're like, this part isn't fun. You're like, ugh, like you even feel weird. And do you understand? Even if you like quickly counter it or you like withstand it, you're still not getting anything else from that experience right then, or you're now focused on handling that. I'm saying, is that an attack? Yes. Do we understand? All of you, all this time, have been operating in a world where you believe that the only thing that's an attack is if I say, boom! Oh wait, I said I say. So if I tell you, hey, you suck, or I actually physically do something to you, or like physically harm something that you care about, or an object, or take something from you. All this time, you've all been operating in a world that you think functions that way. And I'm telling you, the primary attack that they use is actually mental thoughts. And why words are dangerous? Why? Because they populate mental thoughts. Words are actually more dangerous because they can then program something. Now, we'll stop there, but I just want people to understand that you guys have all been thinking just about physical attacks. I'm telling you, the majority of the attacks that we experience on a day-to-day basis, we're all getting attacked consistently throughout the entire day. But when and why is actually what I want you guys to focus on, all right? Now that you understand what is an attack, right? What is repeating? When does it pop up? Why would that appear? How could that be possible? Pay attention to differences, stress test, make it, force them to reveal their hand, literally walk into something that you know has some poisoned reminders for yourself, and just be like, are they going to actually remind me of something right now? You're like, holy crap. Then go to something else that has completely other reminders, like, hey, could I remember when, I don't know, like I failed my math test in another country. And then all of a sudden, like, walk a little bit down that path. You're like, yeah, ooh, there was that one hot Latina girl. And all of a sudden, like, just keep walking down the path and pay attention. After a few minutes or seconds, you might all of a sudden get a negative reminder related to that time period. You're like, how is that possible? Then you go back to the other one. You're like, aha, I baited you guys to attack that time period. And then now I'm going over here because it has a completely different recency and time period. Do you understand that that is my reality, guys? I hope it's not the case for you guys, but I challenge all of you. There's any path that you walk that you care about that means something to you that you could use as a positive. Does it get attacked? Mental thoughts, timing, and repeated. Because that's how you can identify what their main attacks are. And once you know them, that means that at any point, if they pop up, or if at any point something pops up that can chain to it, you now understand. You now understand, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. They just reminded me of something that happened. What was that? What happened at the beginning of this video? Oh yeah. So then it could lead to the next thing. You guys understand? Because then it's like teleports us there, like, so now we can walk from that point and we can get to where the poison is. That's how they do it, guys. So you're like, oh, I got a positive. It reminded me at the beginning of this video when I asked, question your reality, guys. Wait, was there a negative right after that? All of a sudden, we follow the path. It's like, oh, I got a positive, yeah. And before we know it, someone walks by chewing cereal. So, I ask all of you, if you do certain actions, this is how you stress test. If today, I decide I'm finally gonna break my bubble that I've put around myself, afraid to question things, afraid to seek, afraid to wonder if there's more to this world than I actually thought. I had my suspicions, but I'm afraid about what other people will say. I'm afraid that other people will laugh at me. I'm afraid that other people will mock me. I'm afraid that people will think that I'm crazy. So today will be the day that I'm actually gonna type some comments on like LinkedIn or YouTube on like these Shepherd Stars videos and actually share my experiences and what I believe or what I disagree with. When you do that, do you understand that you shatter your bubble? Because it's the farthest you've ever gone. If I told you guys, hey, let's go to the Black Forest in Westheim, Germany. You guys don't know where that is, okay? There's a path, a trail there. And we go to the forest, and once we take one step, we're in the forest, right? Because we were in the village, farm town, we make it to the forest, we take one step, now we're there. Like, ooh, okay, now we're in the forest. That's the farthest we've ever gone before. I'm like, there's this really weird tree that has like purple things sticking out of it. About, I don't know, whatever distance metric you guys use, let's just say 100 yards, 100 meters, whatever it is for you. 100 feet, doesn't matter. It's just in the distance, you can see it. You have a group with you and you're like, let's touch that tree. That's our mission, that's our storyline, that's what we're going to do. And you do so. Do you guys understand that you shattered your bubble? Because before you could only see up to that tree, right? You could see up to that tree with the purple. But the moment you guys walked all the way to that tree, as you're walking, there's new viewing angles. New senses are going to be presented to you. Smells, sounds, visuals. And if you touch the tree, you have a new feel like, whoa, this tree feels weird. Like it actually feels warm. Like what? Like, I would have never known that. Think about it. I would have never known that. We all need a guide at the beginning. We need a guide to break our bubble, to make us realize that it can be more than what it currently is. And once that occurs, then we don't need a guide anymore. But I'm telling you guys, I'm right now your guide. After you get this point, and once you learn how to pay attention to differences, stress test, and identify, and break your bubbles, then you won't need my knowledge anymore, because then you can do your own journey. But what I'm saying is, so we reach that tree, we touch it. Do you guys understand now? I'm like, whoa, to the left of that tree over there, diagonally to the left, I'm like, there's like a wolf that it looks like a dragon. And over there to the right, like, whoa, there's like an owl. An owl lion? Whoa! What? There's an owl sitting on a lion? What is this Black Forest in Germany? I would have never known that existed. We couldn't see it from the entrance. But now do you guys see that just by walking forward and doing something that you haven't ever done before, that you broke your bubble and you changed your reality? Do we understand how this works? All of you remain in your bubble. All of you remain in your bubble. Let today be the day that you do an action that breaks your bubble. And it doesn't have to be anything grandiose. I said, just writing one comment under my video or on my LinkedIn feed where I make these posts or I post these videos on YouTube. Just writing a comment about what are your experiences or what are your thoughts, or if you disagree or agree, can literally be sufficient to break your bubble. Do you guys understand? Like, really? Just one comment? I'm like, yeah, can you? Most of you can. That's what I'm saying is scary, because you actually can't. Something is stopping you. What's gonna happen if you write a comment on YouTube? I'm saying if you write it on LinkedIn, it's even better, because if you destroy the veil of anonymity that is holding you back, and you realize nothing's gonna happen after you do so, then everything's easy. But what happens? What happens if you're about to do so? About to write a comment. And all of a sudden, right as you're starting to write the comment, I don't know, like your sibling shows up and you're like, the fuck? Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna visit. And when they do that, they bring cereal, like, hey, I just brought some cereal, I wanna eat, I've been on a cereal diet. You're like, oh, cool. So yeah, how's it going? How's it going, sister or brother? How's it going? You're like, well, I was about to write. All right, hold on. I'll write this comment later. And then you get up and you focus on that. You're like, wait a minute. Why did that happen? And of course, remember. You're like, now I have to take care of my sibling. Ugh. Why did that happen right then? Right as you were about to break your bubble. And then when you're having that conversation with your sibling, they're saying certain things and negative mental thoughts are popping up. They're teleporting you back to the past where it's like, hey, do you remember when you did this foolish thing the one time? Or hey, do you remember when this happened? Or hey, do you remember when you didn't help? Or hey, do you remember? Like, what the heck? You literally came here just to cause problems. You might not say that to them, but now if you've been listening to everything I'm saying, you start paying attention. You're like, oh, you see it all. You understand everything. The words that they say, the things that they suggest, all of it. You're like, oh my gosh, could it be? There are no coincidences? They planned something to stop me? When you connect the dots, when you see that the moment you try to break your bubble for anything, and there's something that tries to stop you, you're like, why would that be the case? So right now we focused on overt outcomes, right? I did that because most of the time it's not that obvious. If it is, well, those are easy to identify. You're like, okay, now I understand. But maybe then after that conversation with the sibling, you might not go back and write the comment. You're like, you just close it. You're like, nah, I'm not gonna do it right now. So there's another day where you didn't break your bubble of writing the comments. Do you guys understand? That's how they do it. That's how they do it. But what if that didn't happen because they didn't plan it, because they didn't know you were going to do so. You listened to this on a whim, and all of a sudden you started to pass, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And you just immediately started. That means that you're ahead of whatever is trying to stop us through what I call, there are no coincidences, through attacks. So you just do it, and then as you're just typing, you're like, oh my gosh, like you write a typo, and it's like you typed accidentally like a weird word, and a mental thought popped up into your head. And it's like of something bad, of like when you got laughed at in second grade for doing something foolish that other people told you, not what you did. And you're like, what the fuck, what? You're like, how did that even pop up? I'm saying that's an attack. I'm saying, remember, we flipped the world. All of a sudden you're writing a comment that you never would do before. And then the moment if something flips, you're like, wait, why would I get that mental thought right then when I'm trying to write a comment? Without any hesitation, just move forward. Are you guys understanding this? I'm saying that is an attack. And I'm saying, could they be a representation that we're actually on the correct path? Question your reality. Why would they try to stop you if you're just like, no, I'm gonna reach out to my sibling again, that for some reason always poisons me. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what? I'm gonna remember when I was a fool in second grade. Instead of writing my comment, yeah, let's do that. Well, they wouldn't have to stop us from that, would they? Like, I'm gonna watch this video that talks about second grade. You guys understand? They don't have to stop you then, because you're willingly walking into the trap. You don't even know that. There are times where there could be benefits to that, but we won't get into that today. That's advanced tactics. So, do you guys see that all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, so does that mean that I get attacked when they're trying to stop me from doing something? Yeah. They attack even without, but for most of you, because you're not breaking your bubbles consistently, you're not moving forward and you're not doing, they attack whenever you do get on the correct path to stop you. So you're like, well, I tried something different. I tried helping people and I got attacked, so I'm not gonna do it anymore. Exactly, do you guys see what you just said? I'm not gonna do it anymore. You were on the correct path. And I know that there's many things that have happened in my life that I know I was on the correct path and I got attacked and I got stopped. But I'm telling you guys, if you get to this level, they elevate the game to a new level that you cannot even comprehend. The elevation of the attacks, the escalation, escalator girl, is at a level that none of you can possibly comprehend yet, and I hope you never have to. But for all of you right now, pay attention to differences. So, now we're gonna slow down a little bit and talk about the original stuff a little bit. I just wanted to do an intro. You guys need to pay attention to the things that are being presented to you that lead to mental thoughts. You just have to. senses, sounds, smells, visuals, the timing of other people who can present nudges through actions, their words, what they are doing. Why do they do that to things they don't even recognize? Think about it, guys. What are they moving? What are they touching? What are they using? Why would they do that? Have they done that before? Test next day. Put something in a place. Bait them. See what they do, not to cause harm, but you're just trying to see. You're learning, right? You're stress testing. You're identifying. You're paying attention to differences. You're like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Do you understand it? It's because they're trying to present mental thoughts to you through those actions. But they need to use something else to do so. And I'm telling you, other people are their favorite vessel to present nudges to us. Nudges are the mental thoughts that populate into our head that encourage us to do something. For now, I tell you, hey guys, have you listened to Inception Time recently? You're like, whoa, I haven't thought about that. You guys get it? If I just walked by you right now, I'm like, hey, Inception Time. And I just kept walking. Do you guys understand that I presented a nudge to you? And I'm telling you, I'm doing it intentionally. But most of us aren't operating with every single action that we do every single day intentionally. We're not. We're just being guided. And I'm telling you, at the beginning, that's fine, but you have to start asking yourself, am I actually walking the path of my own choosing? So, going back to now, stress testing, we identify what is happening, what's being presented to us. So now we're paying attention to the senses that occur, like, wait, why am I smelling that right now? Why am I seeing that? When I look outside the window right now, why did I see that right now? Remember, we're operating in a world that there's no coincidences, and so that means we pay attention to differences. That means that if you guys all believe that there are coincidences, then it should be pretty easy for you to prove me wrong. Why did that sound happen right then? Why did someone walk by when I walked outside right then? Why did someone come outside of their door right then? Why did that girl have a dog knowing that I want a girl with a dog? You understand? Like, it doesn't mean that it's all about us. I'm not saying that. It could be. But I just want you guys to pay attention. Like, why is that appearing before us? Because all those things matter because they present a nudge that leads to a mental thought. So that means that everything that we see is not harmless. So other people around you, you're like, what are they doing? What are they saying? Why do they do that to that thing? So for example, right now, every time I was just sitting somewhere, I'm spitting my mug. You're like, why is he spitting his mug? Why did I move my spoon like this to like this, but nothing else? Why am I active at a set time, yet not others? Does it seem like they somehow always bump into you? Could we be awoken at a specific time so that we bump into things if we operate without an alarm clock? Why did that ad present itself right now with that info? What is that? Why is that the same info that the person that I bumped into outside had? Do you understand? The info that appears when you go anywhere, outside or if you search. Why did we see that? Why did we experience that? I'm telling you, it's not always all bad. It's not. But I want you guys to focus on the bad first because then you can identify it. And the moment you see it, you're like, oh, I'm getting attacked right now. Why am I getting attacked right now? And I'm saying, then you know your positives then. Because you don't feel that way. So sometimes by starting with your negatives, do you guys get it? By starting with your negatives, you can understand like, wait, those are my attacks. Those are my attacks. They make me feel worse. So then if at any point I don't feel that way elsewhere, right? Now I'm like, okay, neutral. And now you start learning your positive. Remember what I said in a video yesterday, are 5 to 15. So for me, like girls, right? Like I see a girl, I'm happier. I can even hear their voice, I'm happier. So then I'm like, okay. All of a sudden there's other things that pop you, like, wow, poison, attack, poison, attack, poison, attack. Do you guys understand? That means if I see go outside and I see just 3 girls in a row, I'm gonna be in a much happier place. But what if I'm trying to break my bubble outside? And all of a sudden when I do that, there's what I consider my negatives start appearing. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? All of a sudden there's no girls that show up. Why are there no girls outside? What happened? Where's the balance? Why is there nothing like that out here right now? I'm saying, could it have been timed for us to encounter? Could it have even been spawned for us? What is a spawn? So for example, if right now I'm walking straight, you can't see what's around the corner. And right as you're walking straight, something all of a sudden walks by from out of sight, and you just see the approximation as they're walking by from the right to the left. And then that's it. You just saw that. And then maybe they enter the door and you didn't even see more of them. But do you understand? I'm saying, could that be a spawn? What it is, you're never going to talk to that person or that thing that you saw. Remember, I'm saying we're operating in a world that's flipped upside down. So all this is just a consideration. I'm not saying it is the case. But all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, that approximation reminded me of that girl that I want to date with her boots. Do you understand? I don't even have to talk to her. Just the approximation of the clothes that she's wearing. I'm like, even the same hair color and everything like that. You understand that it would serve as a nudge that can populate that mental thought. I'm like, oh yeah, I do want to date a girl. Do we get it, guys? I don't actually need to talk to that girl to get any benefit. It could lead to benefit. But just the visual alone, walking from the right to left, and I don't have to see more of that, is sufficient. But it could be the opposite. It could be a negative. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? And I'm saying, was that timed for us? And was it timed because it was actually a person like myself or you who's listening to this that felt all of a sudden inclined to go outside right then and walk there? Possible. Or was it that they actually spawned something, created something that it was just meant for us to see, boom, and then it goes away? I don't know. Do you guys understand? I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make you guys ask questions. It doesn't matter. Is really the answer. If it was a real person that felt inclined to go outside and walk by right then for us to see, or if it was literally a manifestation, an illusion, a spawn, whatever you want to call it, that just walked by. Do you guys understand? It doesn't matter. Why? Because all of you can get lost there. That's why I needed to add this part. Why does it not matter? Because at the end of the day, it still served the same purpose. It still served as the thing that presented a nudge that led to a mental thought. In this case, a positive. Do we understand? But now you're starting to be like, wait a minute. So I need to pay attention to what is repeating what they're trying to push, because that means that they're trying to encourage me to go down that path, try to rearrange me to that, try to poison me to that, try to corrupt me to that, or try to get me to do something. And then you have to determine for yourself if that's something that you believe is good or not. Because I'm telling you that most of us, if we just let them create our path, we're like, well, it's meant to be. I'm telling you, if everywhere I went outside right now, there was beautiful women coming up to me telling me, hey, you're handsome, I want to date you. I mean, I'm looking to date a girl, right? But I need to be patient. But if they did that, do you understand that I might be like, okay, I need to go date a girl right now. Like, it's everywhere, I need to do this. They can change you like that, for good or for worse. And I'm telling you, this happens to all of us. And I'm saying that it's in response to what we are doing. I'm saying it's in response to what we're doing. I'm not saying that we manifested, guys. I'm saying that they learn our positives and they learn our negatives. So you could say in some ways we do control it, but I'm saying they're trying to get us to do something because we're not doing something else. And then they attack us to stop other things. That's what I want you all to consider about. Because they try to get us to do something else. Like that? Through attacks. Anyway. So where does this lead me? We start noticing normal. We start noticing what makes us happier. What makes us feel better. What makes us feel safe. Calm. Relaxed. I call it being a dove. Could you just look outside right now, put on some music, get a glass of water, and just look at nature, and just sit there. Zen. At peace. Yeah, until someone starts chewing cereal. You guys understand? Or until a negative mental thought populates into your head. I'm saying those are attacks. Do something like that. Try to create a Zen situation for yourself. Be a dove. Be calm. Be at peace. Relaxed. Start a few pauses before you do so, and then pay attention. The moment anything negative populates into your head, or the moment any sound or smells or visuals that are something that could make you feel bad or do make you feel that way, that means that you got attacked. Not a coincidence, not an accident. So, I'm giving you guys the knowledge to identify it, because it's the most important thing. You need to see it first. If you can't see it, well, then you're operating blind. I'm telling you guys, I know all the tactics, how to protect myself. I don't make foolish mistakes anymore. And you're all gonna get there. So I ask all of you, if that's the case, how can certain things be reappearing? How can certain dark clouds that consume our mental, that make us feel just not good, not go away? You think that it's you. It's not. I'm telling you guys, it's not you. For someone who has spent years on this, deciphering all this, it's not you. When you feel that way, that's them. It's something else. You're getting attacked mentally. That is the key. Reminders and signs of the past. So what's the answer though? It just doesn't matter, right? Like what I told you, it doesn't matter if it's a time thing or it's a spawn thing. It doesn't matter at all. You have to get to a state of complete apathy, of just ignoring it, being able to avoid it, prevent it, rewrite it, get quiet. That's it. You have to. And you're like, whatever. But it's not easy. Because what I challenge all of you to stress test and pay attention to next is, could they control the response and the emotional feeling and even the physical feeling that we feel to a mental nudge populating into our head? So for example, if I tell you, Star Wars, A New Hope, dun, 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 dun. The moment that populates into your head, some of you might feel courage, hope, light. But what if you didn't? What if you didn't feel that way? What if you felt the opposite? When that happens, all of a sudden, a mental thought populates into your head through whatever thing that could present it or deliver that information to you. Usually, it's just a word, a sound, so someone talking, or a word that you're reading, or a visual, or a smell. All the senses, right? Those are used to deliver these messages to us, to populate something into our head. I'm saying, could they be controlling the response and emotional feeling? We can do so too, by the way, guys. I learned that it's possible. Because if I keep saying Star Wars A New Hope and playing the victory throne theme when they succeed after destroying the Death Star, and every time I do that, it's like after I succeed at making an amazing stream. Do you guys understand? Or a video. or a post or whatever it is that or let's say I enjoy playing video games. Whenever I complete a challenging encounter, that's the song that I play. I could start creating a positive association for myself there. So now I could feel like, yeah, it's just like a feeling of accomplishment. That's possible. But that's advanced tactics. But I'm just throwing in a few for you guys. So you see, we could do that for ourselves. But I'm saying they can also control the response and emotional feeling to something, to a word, to anything. And you don't understand why. You're like, what? This doesn't matter. But you feel different. I'm telling you, all of a sudden, like, you might feel weird. Whatever it is that they programmed in you, it's a response and emotional feeling. Could be that all of a sudden you get like an itch somewhere. It could be all of a sudden that like your knee hurts. All of a sudden like you feel whatever it is, right? All those things. I want you guys to pay attention to all those things. Those things aren't an accident. If all of a sudden I say something, a mental thought pops into their head, and then you feel like all these negative things, could that be a programmed response and emotional feeling that they are controlling? And they made it now that it's a program. I'm saying, yeah, it's almost impossible to break. And all you have to do is you have to withstand that initial blow. Because remember what I told you. Could attacks be something that are that indicate we're on the correct path and they're trying to stop us from breaking our bubble? So you withstand the initial blow. Like, I parried it. Then we have to teleport elsewhere. Remember what I said? What's a teleport? It's as simple as, well, some of you might know it as like all these fancy terms, astral projection, all that stuff. That's what we're doing here, guys. If I say, hey, do you guys remember what I said at the beginning of this video? Question your reality. I teleported you back to the beginning of this video. That is how they do it. You can teleport yourself mentally. Or I'm like, hey, just think about locations from your past when you were a kid. Like, did you guys live in different homes or do you have different schools? You could do that. If you know your positives, you can do that. But let's say you did all that and you chained it with your positives. Like, okay, I'm gonna have some coffee, I'm gonna have some water, I'm gonna have some peppermint extract. What if that feeling that they put into you, like that negative feeling that I said, it doesn't go away. And you even interrupted it. And you're doing other paths. Like, okay, well, you know what? Hey, I like Zelda music. What song should we sing from Zelda? And you're doing that, and so that should teleport you to that, right? So you're consuming other information, and that should take you elsewhere. Do you guys understand? That's how it should work. Yet if it doesn't, or if it does for a second, but then you get brought back to all of a sudden that consumption feeling, that dark cloud that does not go away, I'm saying that means that you know that you are getting viciously attacked. Not just attacked, you're getting viciously attacked. That means that we need to question that. Why would that be happening? Why would that be happening? Because I'm telling you, if you interrupt and you know, okay, I'll just start another path, and I'm like, they're just trying. That means it's not just a little jab. It means that you're actually getting fully bombarded. If that's happening more than usual, as you're starting to learn all this knowledge, and you start making fewer mistakes, could that tell you that it's happening in response to whatever you are doing or whatever you just did previously? Think about it, guys. We're getting better at something. We know more. We're more resistant. We're stronger. We're leveled up. We have more experience. So naturally we make fewer mistakes. Because what really are mistakes? Mistakes are things that we don't know something, so we try something and it doesn't work out. That is technically what a mistake is. There's nothing wrong with a mistake if you immediately take it and you modify and you adapt and you learn and you try a new strategy. If you do that, mistakes don't mean anything. But the problem is, in this world, that the moment a mistake happens, they send an army of reinforcements at you to immediately reinforce the mistake, to tell you that you're bad, to tell you that this is why you suck, to tell you that this is why all the problems in your life are happening. That's intentional. Remember what I said, flip world. Does that happen to you? Make a mistake and see what happens. Are you gonna get all of a sudden reinforcements, attacks, or people are gonna help? Because I'm telling you, if a healer, such as myself, intercepts it, And it's like, no, it's okay. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Especially if it's just an execution error. Execution, you understand, guys? If all I have to do, all it takes for an execution error is you're about to do something. You're at the Olympics. You've trained for years. And I'm telling you, they programmed a vulnerability in someone chewing. All I have to do is I'm like, okay, that's where the gymnast is performing. And there's a good chance they're not going to get the gold medal just from that, if it happens at the right time. I'm telling you guys, you all think that that's why competition is truly worthless. Because if it relies on execution and not strategy, it's pretty fucking worthless. Sorry, I'm pretty passionate about this because all they have to do is do these mental attacks, or if they know whatever vulnerabilities that they had previously installed in you, and they just have to present them. If you're not able to rewrite them, and even then, remember, now your focus is on rewriting them instead of on the activity that you're doing, you understand your performance is going to go down. So anyway, I'm telling you guys, if you know all the tactics, if you're interrupting, if you're teleporting else mentally, you withstand the initial blow, and you're consuming other things that you are of your own choosing, or even others that you're searching because you know that it's a positive for you, and it's like, I'm telling you, you're getting attacked because you're doing things that they don't want. Why would they not want it? You need to ask yourself that. And I'm saying, if that's happening even more and more and more, and you're making fewer mistakes, that is how you know that you are on the correct path. People are like, wait, what? So if I'm on the correct path, I'm gonna get attacked more? Like, doesn't that make sense? If we're going to destroy the barbarian outpost that is consuming a neighborhood or like a city back in the day, like think about like the Aztecs. And it's like causing problems anywhere. It's like pillaging, it's burning, it's destroying trade routes, it's doing all of these things. If we're about to destroy it, think about how many problems that would remove. Don't you think that the barbarians are going to fight back and start trying to cause attacks even more? Now I'm saying, could there be a path of peace and where we can just, but that's another story. But do you guys understand? It means that you're in the correct path. Think about it like this. If you're being a loyal sheep, being herded down the storyline that something else desires for you, I only have to electrocute you every so often. But if you're wandering too far off for their desires, or you did something that is the answer, I promise you, they will attack furiously. So, we always think that when things are escalating and we're getting overwhelmed, that we made a mistake. And then the reinforcement arrives that confirms it, and then we believe it. I'm saying, never believe it. What have I told you? As someone who operates in a world that is always flipped and upside down, that when you begin getting attacked viciously, it means that you are on the correct path. Now you know what attacks are. Question reality. Could attacks actually be a representation that we're on the correct path? Why would you stop those who are about to walk into a trap? Let's do some reinforcement now. What we said, right? Reinforcement can be good for good or for bad. That was a lot. I gave a lot of advanced tactics. I didn't think I was going to, but this is also for us too. It's just a reminder. It's a reminder that, hey, we figured this out. We're doing the right things. There's a reason why we're getting stopped. And I just want all of you to know that when that happens, it's not easy, it's not fun. for anything that we want, for anything that we're trying. We're like, but I'm not doing anything bad. I'm just trying to help people. I'm just trying to help myself. I'm just all these things, whatever it is. I'm telling you guys, you're going to get attacked more because you are on the correct path. And they're trying to discourage you, and you might get discouraged, and that's okay. All right? If you took one step and you broke your bubble, I'm proud of you. Yet, sometimes taking a step back and just realizing that I told you guys that, right, we're operating in a world where supposedly there's no coincidences. And that, I challenge you really, guys, to test that. But, because some of you then might get to a point where you're like, well, am I like the VIP? Am I super important? I'm like, we all are. But also, you need to get to a point where you just realize, wait, it's actually nice to be a nobody. Each and every one of you. We always pursue that fame, right? We pursue a storyline, a goal, something that we need to accomplish. And we should. We should walk and create our own paths and not let anything deviate them. And I'm not saying that we're trying to harm anyone, right? That's the key. No harm, no problems. Right, we wanted to go to that tree with the purple stuff around it in the Black Forest in Westheim, Germany. We wanted to go there. And if right as we were starting to walk there, like a girl, because hey, that's my positives, grabs my arm and pulls me back. No, let's not go to that tree. And that people be like, what, why? You need to pay attention to that. You guys understand? I'm just like, no, we're going to go there and we can come back right after. You can't let even positives push you off your path. If you're not trying to harm anyone and you're not doing anything bad, don't let them stop you. Because if she stopped you and all of a sudden then you started doing other things, I'm telling you guys, that's how they control us. So that could be scary for some of you to hear. That's why I challenge all of you to stress test all of these things now that you know how to pay attention to differences. What is repeating, where, when, all that stuff, right? But then you take a step back and you go, wait a minute. You know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I'm giving you guys all this knowledge so that you can use it for yourself. But I'm also I'm reinforcing it for myself. And it's proof that I am correct. But I challenge all of you to test that. Don't just take my word. Test it for yourself. See if it's correct in your reality. Maybe not. Maybe we each experience a different reality. I think all of you can agree that we get to a point then where we want to get to that tree with the purple and we want to accomplish something no matter what. And we should, right? Like that's good. But then we are like, well, I need like the external, I need other people to know that I did that. I need other people to congratulate me. I need to get rewarded for that. And that, guys, that's where the problems happen. Because, I believe fully that I have all the answers here for people. And this is my interpretation, right? Like I think other people can have gotten to these answers or similar or close. Maybe not exactly to this level. Just with a different coat of paint. That's possible. Yet I believe that I can explain it in such a way that anyone could learn and awaken and see. I truly believe that. So what does that mean? It means that I obviously want everyone to learn this stuff. But you guys see how that could make me vulnerable to something. So now I'm just like, well, the one person who listens to this or the one person who reads this, they're going to get a lot of information. They're going to be very powerful. And now, what they do with that, I hope they use it for good. I hope they comment. I hope they share, because I would love to keep bouncing ideas with them and discuss it with them and help them even unlock it further. So if you guys ask questions or if you just write things, I will prompt you guys and ask questions that will make you think about things differently. So share your experiences. But I had to get to a point where I'm okay with being a nobody. If anything, it actually is better. One day, these videos or these posts might get 1 million views. They might not. Do you guys understand? Nothing changes. You all need to get to that. be a nobody. Because then it just doesn't matter. Even when you get attacked, it just doesn't matter. All right. So, too many times, we've thought that we are making a mistake, or that we are responsible for a mistake, that we should not have done something, and immediately others suggested to us that we messed up. And we proceeded to get punished or attacked. Usually through mental attacks and feeling, not overt outcomes. Pay attention. You did not make a mistake. They're trying to discourage your path. They're trying to make you reconsider your actions. If you did something that broke you free, why would they not try to cause you problems? Most of us base if an action is correct or incorrect based on the outcome. Don't you guys do that? Most of us base if an action is correct or incorrect based on the outcome. Think about that one, guys. What if I told you the actual result is meaningless? Whatever happens from this doesn't matter. What I should base it on is the number of attacks that happen after this. Mental problems. The cloud of darkness that attempts to overwhelm us. You need to learn to identify all your actions. What you did, so you can notice when something changes. Remember, pay attention to differences. Thus you realize, wait, whenever I do things that attempt to help others by sharing answers, or when breaking my programs, my conditionings, or I finally took a step further and destroyed my current bubble limitations, why does, whenever I do those things, I get attacked more? Why is it that when I'm doing progression, self-limitations, and challenges without using money or taking the easy, fast path, that the number of attacks increases dramatically versus when I choose easy and doing things for the external and telling me what they say matters? Attacks equal correct path. Keep pushing. If you got this far, keep pushing. You're doing it. I'm telling you guys, if you're being a loyal sheep, you're being herded down the storyline they desire, they only have to electrocute you every so often. But the moment you're like, wait a minute, this herd is going in the wrong direction, I'm gonna wander this path and see what's over here. I'm gonna explore for myself. And you did something that is the answer, pay attention. You're gonna get attacked furiously. Now you know what an attack is. Because before, we don't think those are attacks, right? That's the problem. We don't realize that those are actually attacks. There's something in this world that mentally attacks us like that to control our paths. And they present things to us to control our paths. Those are all attacks. I'm telling you guys, even the people you bump into, doesn't matter real or false. Those can be attacks. All those things. They don't even have to say anything directly to you, right? Do you guys get it? Anything that can be used as a vessel to present information or a sense that can populate a mental thought. Those are all attacks, guys. Now you know. Keep going. Don't give up. I'm telling you guys, if you discuss openly the attacks that you are experiencing, not what they are, all right? So you're like, well, I see this kind of person outside and that's an attack. I get this info presented to me, that's the attack. No. Not the what. You can say, hey, I see a person. They're using people around me to attack me, like through like visual approximations as reminders of other people or things in my past. Or they're using ads, or they're using comments. Like all of a sudden I feel inclined to like read a comment, and based on what I did beforehand, now I interpret it differently. You guys see, like, you're discussing openly where you're getting attacked, what you're experiencing, but you're not saying, hey, I got attacked. They reminded me of, hey, I want to date that hot girl and have a croissant date with her. Her orange dress. Do you guys understand? You're not talking about those details. You're talking about the how, you're talking about the when, you're talking about the why, you're talking about what you did differently that caused that in response. Like, well, I don't know, like I didn't used to have this, but all of a sudden now I listened to Shepherd Star and I posted a comment about actually what I'm experiencing. I broke my bubble and I shared this video with other people, like my siblings or my family or other people, like, hey guys, you guys should consider some of this stuff I'm telling you guys. And then all of a sudden, when I went outside today, I got bombarded with negative mental reminders, and I got weird notifications. By the way, you guys should turn off your notifications. Could they plan the timing of them? Yeah, stuff like that. But anyway, do you guys understand? Like all of a sudden you start being like, wait, why are like all these things happening today in response that, or the next day, or something like why? And I'm telling you, you start paying attention to what you did differently, and then all of a sudden things are changing, right? You start being like, well, because you now know. Because think of it like this, guys. You basically start operating. Yesterday I called it the live stream, and I'm going to use that again. Think about it like you're operating in the live stream. Other people are operating in the physical world itself. Other people are playing in the physical world, Earth. Okay. Think about it like we're just like a projection. We're just projecting ourself and our spirit onto Earth. Think of it like that, guys, right? If you can get to that point, that means you're in the live stream. That means that you don't actually really care too much about what's happening in the physical. There are some benefits to it, right? Like I said, hey, there's a reason why we want a girl, right? There are some benefits to it, and have a kid and all that stuff like that. Because that's where we actually execute. But I'm telling you, if you are mentally operating in the live stream, think of it as like you're like an entity watching your own vessel operate on Earth. Okay? So what does that mean? It means that you're like, okay, well today I'm not gonna move anything in response to, like, let's say you live with your family, okay? Just pay attention to things. And you're starting to go down this path, you're starting to learn all this knowledge, and you're starting to break free from their hold, from all the things that they indoctrinated you with to believe. And you just start thinking for yourself, right? It doesn't mean that you're gonna attack them. On the contrary, you might share it with them, but they attack it. You're like, why are you guys attacking this? I'm just sharing this with you. Why would you attack it? You guys get it? Pay attention. Why would you attack it? So you take a step back, and you maybe set up some things for yourself that, hey, are like your positive nudges that mean something to you, not to them. They mean something different to you because you programmed your own meaning. And you just take a step back and you start doing things and you start paying attention. And maybe you create distance, right? And you like almost like cut them out, you block them. And you start seeing what changes, how, when, why. And you're like, what's going on? And I'm telling you guys, it's because since you don't need to do anything anymore in the physical world, you've reached a state of it doesn't matter about apathy. You're operating like you just get to see, you're like, oh, interesting. So that's the response to that. And that's the response. You guys see, like, you're essentially, in some way this is fucked up, just so you guys understand, but essentially you're toying with them because they're just pawns now. You see it like that, you're like, oh my gosh, something is moving them around to do things. Like, why would they move that? Why would they do that? Because then you realize, like, wait a minute, they don't even use that. Do you guys get it? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, things happen and you're like, I know you don't even use that. Why would you put that there? Why would you leave that there? Why would you do that? Like, I'm telling you guys, you start thinking things of that nature. And could it be a coincidence? I'm saying no. Maybe some of you do think like, oh, sure, of course it is. Sometimes we just leave things. But I'm like, it's not a coincidence? What if, okay, cereal, right? This bowl, I wanted to clean it right now at the end of this video. So I go to the kitchen, I put it in the sink, and right then, all of a sudden, I don't know, assuming that I still used my phone, all of a sudden I get a text chime. Ding! And I'm like, oh, God, I want to see it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the girl. It stopped me from cleaning the bowl. And all of a sudden I start texting her. And maybe we start talking, and I'm happy. Do you guys understand? So then I completely forgot about my cereal bowl in the sink. So now it got left there. So then maybe some of your other family shows up later and they see the bowl in the sink and they're like, oh, why would they leave the bowl there? Of course they would. Do you guys understand? I'm saying that's not a coincidence. Even though you didn't intend to leave the bowl there, you did. And I'm saying it's because of other things that got presented to you. Are you guys starting to understand how this works? So I'm not saying that everything that they're doing is them choosing to do so because they're not aware of how things move them around. If right now your phone vibrates, what do you guys do? 90% of you right now, check it and see what it is. If you can't reset, if you can't change that response, if at any point they want you to do that, do you guys understand? Even if maybe you didn't interrupt your path of cleaning the bowl, but do you guys understand that at any point, you would just walk now afterwards to your phone. Are you guys starting to piece this together? So now if you're operating in the live stream and you're just kind of like watching the world, you just are now paying attention to the things that are changing, the things that are being moved, the things that are being modified. You're like, why? When? How? What caused that? What did I do differently? And I'm telling you guys, you're gonna see a lot. The world is so different than you think. So remember, now you start paying attention, like, well, why would they start interfering with the things that I do? Or why would they, that the timing of it, why would those things occur when I'm trying to do, like, let's say you finally, I encourage all of you to reinterpret all the things that I'm saying in this video. Take notes, write things down, write a post, even if it's just in a sticky note or the notes tab on your computer or on your phone, or do a self-recording, or just stream to yourself, look at yourself and just talk it through. Like, write down your notes and then just talk about, like, hey, could it really be possible that there are no coincidences? Could it be really possible that we pay attention and we like operate in the live stream and we stress test and we can identify things and we can see if we're getting mentally attacked because we have that mental bombardment? Like, does that mean that we're actually on the correct path? And you just talk about it, right? And then the moment you start doing that, are you starting to get like attacked? Are you starting to get interrupted? Is there more noise? All of a sudden, like, people are like around you, like yelling and screaming and doing things. I'm telling you, it's timed. These are my experiences, right? Again, I challenge all of you to stress test it. I'm telling you, it's spawned. That darkness, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to record something. I'm like, what? I'm telling you, it's attached to other people in your castle. Castle equals wherever you live, that you're protected from the outside world. Because, right, the outside world, we can't control what's being presented to us. That's why I call it a castle. Not they have the bridge, they have the moat, right? They make it hard to get to you. That's the key. You have to make it as challenging as possible to get to you. And I'm saying that if you don't have the darkness, they time it and they spawn and they attach it to other people in your castle that have darkness inside of them. They get used as pawns to spawn and attack. How can you test? Notice their behavior. Their behavior is different. Pay attention to why they do that right now, when before they wouldn't. I'm not saying that we can't change for the better, right? We should always be changing, but still pay attention, because you know your positives and your negatives. So now you can see like what they were trying to do. You're like, oh, I see exactly what you're trying to do. So what can you do? You can test by creating indirect interrupts and self-nudge paths that are positive for them. Don't interact with them. You can make a random sound. Because I'm telling you, what usually is they try to create a repetition. Like I said, remember what we did, where we started at the beginning. Why do you need to be eating cereal right here, right now, when I'm trying to record and write this? Like, oh, I'm sorry, can I be here? You guys understand? That's something you should ask yourself. They could be anywhere, but they choose to do that, and they don't know that that sound is bad for you. Or maybe they do. If they do, then you should be very worried, because then it's intentional. But if they don't, do you guys understand that means. Or if they don't, if basically just they're not aware of what they're doing is what I'm trying to say. That means that they're under control. You pay attention to these things, but if they're right there eating the cereal, you're like, okay, here we go. All of a sudden you're recording and you don't care, right? Because it's just recording to yourself. All of a sudden, you know what? I'm going to play some music that I know that they also enjoy. You know, for example, I enjoy Legion of Gaia, so. But maybe for some of you, it's like we go back to Star Wars. You only play a few seconds and you play the next song. You know? And you guys do something like that. Maybe you play some Disney song. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this. And you literally just sing. Where you're like, wait, why was the star in Wish orange and not yellow? Ooh, the orange dress. And you just say random things like that. And maybe, or you say out loud nudges related to positives you know from their past. Maybe they enjoyed like Disney or Lion King or things of that nature. And just really randomly just say those things. Then pay attention to the reaction because, right, they're positives. You're not trying to hurt them. They're positive things. You know they're positives, okay? So if all of a sudden they leave, why would they leave, right? You're playing music that they like. You're saying nudges and things like that of positive that you know from their past. So why would they leave, right? If all of a sudden they leave, I'm telling you guys, that's darkness that's controlling them to get away from you because they don't want their memory recency and their lens modified. Because what did I tell you guys? If I keep playing Star Wars and if everything, after what you listened to this video, if you got to hear, first of all, I congratulate you. I'm proud of you. You're doing it. This is a lot. You're not going to get all of it the first listen through. I promise you. If this is the first time you're listening to all this, just take a step back, relax. You might be like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Just, you know what? Relax. You'll get there. Just by listening to this, you're already breaking your bubble and you're expanding your limitations. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Don't stop. You got this. So think about it like I say that to you, right? I'm completely changing your recency, your lens, and your self-belief. It's modified. Before you do anything, I call it pre-seasoning. You get pre-seasoned to do a dark path or a path. In this case, for you guys are getting pre-seasoned to a path of light, right? Hey, I need to explore, I need to believe, I need to test things out, I need to stress it, I need to pay attention to differences, I need to believe in myself, I need to realize that the attacks aren't my fault, I need to realize that I'm not making mistakes, I just need to learn to modify and change my strategy. That's it. There's nothing wrong with me, it's just they made a mistake happen and then they send their army of negative reinforcement at us. That's just how they do it. And I just have to ignore all that and I need to just do my own thing. I'm a nobody, but if they are trying to interrupt my paths, then I'm going to do positive nudges for them and interrupt them. And then I'm going to test to see what their response is. And I'm telling you guys, whenever you're going to try to do something, that's when they show up. Anything that you enjoy. And darkness is using them to try to taint it for you, okay? It doesn't matter what it is. And and the more blockades you put around yourself to protect you, you're going to see they get more desperate because they don't have a lot of ins anymore. If you're like, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Well, now, because before, if you talk, you guys understand that's easy for them if you interact. If you don't talk anymore, that means that they have to use sounds and they have to use objects that they can move. So pay attention to that, guys. If all of a sudden objects are being moved around and sounds are increasing and repeating, that's what they're using as attacks, okay? So anyway, so if you do these positive things, I'm telling you guys, they get them to run away from you. They run away from you because think about it. If I just keep telling you guys, hey guys, did you watch Wish? Did you watch Coco? Did you watch Under the Sea? Wait, Little Mermaid. If I keep doing that over and over again, I'm going to change your recency. I'm going to change your lens. So that means that all of a sudden they now read a book that talks about, hey, should we go exploring underwater? You might think about Under the Sea now. Yet before that, you might have been seasoned to think about Uncharted 4 when the character was diving. Do you guys understand? Because whatever you were pre-seasoned to before, I'm saying they pre-season people around us to a dark path prior to interacting with us, so that then they do whatever mental nudge populates in their head. By you doing those random actions, but positive ones, you change their path. So then whatever they do next won't have the full planned lens darkness intended for them. Unfortunately, it's still so reinforced that there's not a lot you can do. But you can still cause changes and fight back. I call this baiting darkness, because they use pawns to further attacks. And pawns are people who are asleep. So I ask you guys, we're almost done here. How can certain things be reappearing? How can certain dark clouds that consume our mental not go away? We think that it's us. It's not you. That's them. You're getting attacked mentally. Reminders and signs of the past. The answer? Doesn't matter at all. It's not easy. They control the response. They control the emotional feeling to a mental nudge populating into our head. I'm telling you guys. Star Wars. A New Hope. Dun, 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 dun. The moment that populates into your head, you're gonna feel courage. You're gonna feel hope. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna feel light. You're gonna smile. But if it's the opposite, you have to withstand the initial blow. Teleport elsewhere mentally. Write these down. And if it still doesn't go away, when you do an interrupt, peppermint extract, and do other paths, meaning now you consume other info that you know are positive that should take you elsewhere. Like, hey, what was the kindergarten that I went to? If it still returns, it means that you know you're getting attacked. So if that's happening more than usual, and you're making fewer mistakes, it tells you that it happened in response to whatever you are doing or whatever you did previously. And that is how you know if you are on the correct path. We always think that when things are escalating and we're getting overwhelmed, that we made a mistake. And I'm telling you guys, as someone who operates in a world that is always flipped and upside down, that when you get attacked viciously, you're in the correct path. Question reality. Question reality. Could attacks be a representation that we're on the correct path? What do you guys think now? What are attacks? Why would we try to stop those who are about to walk into our trap? What if we operated every moment in a world that is upside down, where there are no coincidences? This, at any point it was flipped, we would notice, correct? Paying attention to differences, this is how we stress test, to be able to identify. Test your reality. What happens when you limit all info? Meaning you completely minimize your reality bubble. If you no longer go outside, if you don't scroll social media, if you don't search, if you only consume info that you know is positive, that you self-sourced, related to your own things, not suggested, and then you slowly start adding in one thing at a time, what can present info to you? Right? You cut out everything. Think about it like you're in a room, all by yourself. You have nothing, just you, just one set of clothes. That's it. Okay. All right. Day 1, maybe just water and some bread. Day 2, what are you going to add back in? All right. Well, I'm going to add in my phone, but I'm not going to use the internet. I'm just going to look at some pictures, like some girl pictures, and that I already have saved on my phone, and listen to like 3 songs that I have. Okay, how do I feel? All right, good. All right, let's add in next. Now what did we add in? You know what, let's add in Reddit. Oh, all of a sudden you started going to different places and so much info got presented to you. What was presented? What appeared? The mental knowledges that occur after the senses. And what are senses? Even just reading a visual on the screen. I'm telling you, reminders of the past to make you feel bad. You're like, wait, so when I just had my phone, the pictures and my music, nothing happened. But also when I added and read it and this, I'm telling you guys that those reminders of the past that make you feel bad, those are your poison code. You all must learn these. So how did that happen? Well, you added and read it. What if you didn't? What if you said, nope, I'm not going to do that. I learned not to add social media right now. I have to be careful until I learn my stuff, and I still have to minimize. So let's say the only source of info that you can get are the people in your castle if you're completely unplugged. Think about it like you have a castle, right? If you don't have the internet, if you don't have anything, you don't read news, nothing like that, where can you get info suggested to you? Well, sounds from the outside. And if you don't go outside, right? Sounds from the outside. And let's say you don't even look out the windows. It's only the people that are in your castle. There always has to be a source of info that they use to deliver info to us, to populate mental thoughts to try to attack us. And I'm telling you, if you completely unplug, you catch it. This is why I challenge all of you to do this. Limit all your info, minimize your reality bubble, don't go outside anymore, don't scroll social media, don't search. Try it out, just try it out. Take a vacation. And just play like one game or like watch like some movies, test, try learning video games or something, I'm telling you guys. But limit so much info. Or you always wanted to start like drawing, or like painting or like whatever, doing pottery or something, and only focus on that. And you limit everything, you've unplugged, and just see what happens. If the only things that can present info to you are the people in your castle now, because you don't go outside, you don't consume info, and I'm telling you guys, if they're still finding ways to remind you of them through the using those people, now they're the source of attacks. That's when you start catching, like, wait a minute, that's possible? Yeah. If you block everything else, guys, they're going to start using the people inside of your castle. That's when the illusion shatters. So what's the next step? Then you go somewhere outside, okay? Yeah, I know, I said minimize outside. But then you go somewhere outside. I recommend 1 or 2 areas. And an area could be literally right outside, like your home or your apartment, or it could be like, hey, maybe like the grocery store and, I don't know, somewhere else, right? Like, doesn't matter, the playground. And it's just those 2 areas and maybe like right outside your home. That's it. Repeatedly, only go to those areas. What reminders are appearing that can make you feel bad? Why are they appearing? When are they appearing? What is repeating? Do you guys understand? I'm just telling you guys, 1 or 2 areas, repeatedly, only those. So now you added in a little bit more, right? So you see, like, when you slowly start adding in, you're like, wait a minute, all of a sudden now they're using my family as a source of attacks. Got it. Then you added more, you're like, wait a minute, now they're using those 1 or 2 areas. And now you can start paying attention to what is actually repeating. Because that's the difficulty for most of you. You don't understand that there's set few things. I'm telling you, it's between, probably for most of us, 3 to 10 things that they use over and over again. There's set events that they had created in our past, and they keep bringing those back over and over again. And they prefer to use ones from our past that have been drilled in and reinforced, rather than the more recent ones, because yes, the recent ones are bad and sad, but they're just not as reinforced. Do you guys understand? And if they didn't get enough sufficient negative reinforcement, they're not as impactful. They're still bad, but they don't have as much impact. So usually they prefer to go back further in your past to use those. And I'm telling you guys, you're like, wait a minute. So when I cut out everything, and I only had my family around me, I got reminded of these 3 things. Then I added in these 1 or 2 areas outside, and somehow those 3 things appeared again. Then all of a sudden, I added in like Reddit or LinkedIn or YouTube, and those 3 things and ads appeared again. You're like, oh, yeah, guys, that's how you do it. That's how you figure it out. You need to do so. You need to do so. Because I'm telling you guys, my question to all of you is, could they be controlling what is presented in those areas, as they need to present bad to us? The only way you can catch it is if you limit. Then you can see it. You're like, oh my gosh, there's no way. That's impossible. That's not possible. I only consume info in 2 areas. This is how you expose the illusion. If you continue to escalate, then you notice they become desperate. And if you still are escalating and protecting yourself and fighting back, they're going to resort to what I call direct mental insertion of attacks, because you blocked everything else. So, after you guys finish watching this video, lay down, relax. What begins populating? That? Attacks. So where we're going to end. This one was a lot, but if you guys got through this, then you're ready. You're ready to expose the illusion. You're ready to take the next step. You're ready to break your bubble. What you do after that is up to you. But now you know that all the negative things that are presented to you are meaningless, are wrong. Because if they can present it in any location, they can present it when you only just get info from your family. They can present it if you now add in Reddit. They can present it when you only go outside to 1, 2 areas to make sure that those specific bad things reappear. Do you guys understand that that means that they don't mean anything anymore? Doesn't make them easy to deal with. But do you guys understand now those attacks don't mean anything anymore? Because you're like, oh, so it doesn't matter what I do. You guys are going to find a way to make them pop back up. And if I still block everything, you just will force insert them into my head. Cool. Do you guys understand? So the benefit of exposing the illusion is that it protects you. It protects you because now all that bullshit that you are held back by, that you're chained by, that they put a lock on that stops you from doing things, now you don't believe it anymore. I'm not saying that it makes you feel safe. That's a different question entirely. Maybe you won't feel inclined to go outside and do storylines anymore. That's your choice. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, do you guys get it? Because now you understand, like, wait, there's things outside, there's things where I consume info that are literally trying to poison me. And once you understand that, I'm saying, like, you're like, well, it becomes harmless, but you still have to protect yourself. If I keep offering you, hey guys, do you want to drink this poisoned water? You're like, no thanks, no thanks. But what if you get thirsty? Do you guys understand? But now you see it. You're like, well, I now know it's poison water. It's okay. Doesn't mean anything anymore, but it's still an attack. So how do we stop a child from doing something we don't want them to do again? Have you guys ever thought about that? How would you stop a child from doing something that you don't want them to do again? What would you guys do? I hope that many of you would say, well, I would sit down with them and talk to them and ask them, hey, how could we figure this out? But that's not the case for 99% of you. Our go-to, because it works, is we attack the whip by punishing or discouraging. So pay attention to what happens if you do certain actions. Comment publicly on my videos, my posts on LinkedIn, or just write your own posts and make your own videos. Share what you're experiencing. Send in your work resignation. Break that storyline. Be free. Create a new story, not one, because now that you know how they do it, that they can set up things from A to B to C repeatedly, they created your storyline for you. Stop doing whatever storyline you're currently doing. You must break it and start fresh. And now you can see what storylines they are suggesting to you, and then you can determine it for yourself. But before that, you walked a storyline and a path that you didn't choose and you didn't understand how you got there. So no longer engage with certain individuals. and break your storylines. I'm telling you guys, if you fight back against abuse, corruption, exploitation, are attacks escalating? Mental attacks, not only the overt ones, though anything that can present info or reminders to you. Pay attention to that. The timing. Does it seem targeted at you? Because it is. It doesn't mean that it's just you. If there's 5 people in the room, it's targeted at all 5. But do you understand? They know each of the 5 people's interpretation lens. For 1, it might be a positive. For 2, it might be a neutral. And for 3, 4, and 5, it was meant for negative. That's planned. It's not an accident. Do you guys get it? We need to learn that all of our actions do cause responses. But it's difficult to grade the result as we don't see the outcomes. If attacks are escalating, it means you're on the right path. You must persevere. Do whatever you can to survive, withstand, brace, and endure because you know it's coming. I know after I'm done recording this, it's coming. They're gonna come for me today. It's not fun. It's horrible because they control the emotional reaction to any reminder that we get. But I want you all to know it's fabricated. They are making you feel that way. It's not your reaction. You're not choosing that, right? Because think of it like the moment something populates in their head, we have a choice. I call it a conditional branch, or like if you play video games or like a choose your own story adventure book, you guys have a choice, right? Like do you go path A or path B? Like, do I want to laugh about this or do I want to feel negative about this? I'm telling you guys, you still get to choose that. But right here, before you get to choose that, they insert their own fabricated reaction that we can't control. You can minimize it and you can destroy it as quickly. But I'm telling you guys, that part, that's controlled, it's programmed into us by them. And there's nothing you can do about it. The first thing that populates, you're like, nope, I'm going to choose to laugh about it. It doesn't make it better because you're still forced to live that feeling. Think of it like you're stepping into boiling hot water, right? Or you're freezing cold water right now. Whichever you prefer less. It's not comfortable. But if you know it's coming, like, okay, 2 seconds. All right. You got this. Now you know what attacks are. Learn what yours are. Keep going. Now we're back to the beginning. Question your reality. You've learned so many things today. It's a lot. But I know that you can do this. You got this. Take notes, rewatch this, stress test, pay attention to differences, and hey, maybe finally you're going to start asking questions. But it begins with this. Could attacks actually be a representation that we're on the correct path? You tell me. All right, guys.